Hi everyone. This is our first podcast, and our podcast name will be "Break the Tier 3 by Staying as a Tier 3." Okay, so actually it is upon targeting on students itself. Yeah, breaking the normal gossip talks being a Tier 3, you can't achieve anything. Okay, so I want to break this thing as a student itself, being in a Tier 3. So yeah, so this is a prior theme of the podcast. Well, I have my first guest as Abhiram NJ. Oh, he's a tech savvy, a tech enthusiast, and also build curious stuffs with the limited stuffs, and yeah, a lot of interesting things to know about him. And yeah, I think this video, I think he will be getting everything that should be covered, even from landing internship and also doing a lot of projects as well. Okay, so I think it's time for us to hand over the session to the uh, Abhiram. Yeah. So onboarding Abhiram.
Yeah, hey everyone. Hey, hi, hi. So yeah, happy to be here in this podcast. Yeah, it's been a long time since me and Abhijith have been talking about starting this podcast and yeah, having a conversation around all the things happening around regarding the career, jobs, and yeah, from being a student of tier three or yeah, college like that, how hard and easy it is to get into a job and other aspects and all those things. So yeah, pretty interested and excited to be in this. I don't know how much long this will be, but uh, yeah, pretty excited to be in this part. So yeah, I'll just give a basic intro of me and myself. Basically, yeah. So currently, I am a graduate. Yeah, just passed out last month. So it's not been a long time since I got out of college, and yeah, some people might be thinking like, okay, who is this guy who just passed out a lot long back and there is no connection. No, I just passed out last month and the results came in like 2 or 4 days back. 4 or 5 days back actually. So yeah. So yeah, officially graduated anyways. So that's good to go. And yeah, currently I work as an engineer at Tech for Good Community. It's a Bangalore based company. And yeah, I work remotely. So currently it's my place, my desk and everything. So yeah, that's basically what I do now. And yeah, I'm kind of a person who likes to tinker around with stuff and yeah, kind of a person who tells I'm not a developer, but yeah, I do develop things and occasionally, but yeah, not occasionally, but I do develop things. So yeah, kind of it's a very messy intro about me, but yeah, I don't think there's nothing like that's non-messy around in this chat.
Yes, yeah.
Like the topic that we are going to
That's
talk about is also like a pretty messed up. And yeah, the things and points that will be coming up and all the pointers that will be coming up in this talk will all be like in a very unstructured manner. Yeah, keeping it to the raw conversation rather than like having it in a very structured manner. Yeah, thought to have it in a structured manner, but like, yeah, being a college student is all about being messy. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, let's start with something foundational, like the all you start with building this house. So the first question might be the very simple and it's a place where all you start from. So actually, what made you into this engineering? And also what it gave you. Actually, you are passed out now 4 days before, and what do you feel?
okay. Yeah, that's a very not interesting, but very common question that people might ask. And like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, did you choose engineering because you're interested, or just you just came into it? And is that what's the reason? So people might be curious to know that. So, uh, behind my thing, it's not. Mm, okay, after my 12th, okay, there's two paths: engineering, medicine. Okay, engineering looks promising to me, so I took engineering. And Yeah, I actually repeated for 1 year, and after that, I joined College of Engineering Karanagapalli, and yeah, was very pretty new to the engineering field and everything. Like everything seems new, and yeah, the first thing that I got hold when I entered into the college is that okay, we have a chemistry lab at college. So I didn't know that it was a chemistry lab, by the way. So when we step into a college and like walk few steps, you see an abandoned building right on the side of like a marshy land and all those things. So thought it was some abandoned building. But yeah, in our first semester, I came to know that that is our chemistry lab. So, and yeah, it's not about now. Yeah, now the lab has been improved a lot, and like that's really good now. Uh, but the thing is that like, yeah, everything was a new thing for me, like engineering itself. And the first thing that I glanced upon while landing in the college was this chemistry lab. But other than that, but this is a college specific thing. But other than that, like if you're a student who choose computer science, so might possibly be like the upcoming students won't relate to this because like their syllabus has changed a lot. So I'm part of the 2019 scheme of KTU. So yeah, and now if you are joining now, it's 2024 scheme, so it's very different. But yeah, coming to the 2019 scheme that which I have been a part of, so the syllabus when I looked up, it was like very, what do I learn from this? That's my first question that I have. So what's the use case of learning all these things? Like after learning all these things, what's the use of these things? So that's the first question that came into my mind after hearing all these things and all. So yeah. Mm, very much. Yeah, that's where everything. Will this ever help me? That's the first thing that all these career-related things and all those thoughts and everything came up, and that's where the whole thing started as such. Like uh, afterwards, getting to college, I actually joined college in like end of November, and yeah, in December mid, there was a hackathon happening at our college, so I joined as a team and yeah, got some prize from that hackathon, and that is kind of the starting point where okay, there are interesting fields in this college or like generally in the if even if you're part of a tier 3 college, there's a lot of things to do. So I understood that from that hackathon in the beginning, and post that, I got to know about a lot of communities around in the college and outside the college also. So yeah, started joining and being a part of the team of those communities one by one. And yeah, that's the starting place of all this journey. And yeah, and especially very a community that stays close to me is Tinker Hub, uh, which has contributed a lot to my life. And yeah, it has contributed a lot to others' lives also. So yeah. That's place, that's the beginning and background I'm coming from. Yeah. Uh, and another interesting thing about me taking engineering is that I thought that computer science is just okay, you write code, you do things, and you build software and those things. But after looking at the syllabus, I got a bit okay, this is not what I wanted, this is not writing code. And after getting into the classes from like from the semester 1 till semester 8, there wasn't pretty much no writing code as such. You're learning just the concepts and all those raw behind the scene things of how computers work and all those things. So, uh, yeah, like everyone says, the syllabus and everything in the Indian education system is not that much good enough to, or like the Indian education system is not skill oriented. It's basically like, yeah, you learn something, it keeps you to like get jobs in certain fields. That's the take I have.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So actually, you have mentioned about that you took a 1 month, I mean, 1 year repeat, right? So actually, what might you be learned, or is there something specific that contributed to engineering? Well, like have you learned some skills or anything else that combined? and contributed to this engineering stuff or improved you?
Well, that's very interesting question. Like, interesting question as well as like very yeah, there is a lot of aspects to that question, and not aspects, but a lot of things which can be told, which cannot be told, and all the things. So yeah, we'll obviously tell the things which which I can tell actually. So, few things I want to start off with is that I was an introvert actually way back in till my repeating time, even while I'm repeating. So after I joined college, I tried to talk and mingle with people and like all these communities and all these things and all. Yeah. So that's one major change that happened, or that was that changed from me being an introvert to not an extrovert, but yeah, close to somewhere in between. Like, uh, as my friend Anand says, there's nothing called as ambivert. I don't know if that exists, but yeah, it's up to anyone who watches this podcast to decide whether ambiverts exist or not. But yeah, somewhere in the middle ground between not introvert and not extrovert. So yeah, that's where I'm currently being. So yeah, the transition from that to this happened, or yeah, it was fueled by the time or the things I did while I was doing the repeating sessions, and yeah, actually came to learn a lot of things while doing the repeating things. Read a lot of productivity articles, read a lot of not read, but watched a lot of YouTube videos. Yeah, and interestingly, YouTube now in the productivity space is not that much good in my take. So I was a constant like I do watch YouTube videos constantly at those times, and in the productivity space specifically. So the quality of content in that space or the videos that come out has drastically reduced these days. So it's very hard to actually know get the core essence of what you really want from the videos that are being spread in the YouTube now. So that's kind of a very sad to see thing, but yeah, that's something for another talkable topic or something. But anyways, leaving that ahead aside, so I actually did all these things and also stumbled upon AutoHotkey, a language that most people don't know. And yeah, so that's kind of the starting point of, I mean, that's the things that I learned. And yeah, that's the things I learned from this repeating time. And yeah, that helped me a lot in different ways during like that was the learning time, and after joining college, it was the implementation time. So kind of those things I learned that helped me during the college days to help in running a lot of communities and all those things at the same time. So
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So I like actually today I got a news, right. Actually, it was something related with the layoffs of many jobs and employees or something. Actually, about 60% of the tier 3 graduates are um, like low skilled, and they are getting layoffs very fast. Okay, so so what's your view on this thing?
that's not a very surprising question or any. It's not a new thing to talk about actually. So it's a question that like so I've been actually working with Tinker Hub for like multiple things, and like uh, yeah, one of the core questions that I get is like okay, how can I get a job? That's a primary question that people ask when they meet me, or like after getting to know me a bit, like after the work getting to know about the work I do, they ask how did I get here, and how can they get there? So it's not a strange question to hear anyways. So their layoffs are happening. The tier three college students are not employable, or they lack the skills. So I kind of see it not as a problem of a tier three college actually. So even yeah, let's consider like there is no tiers in colleges. Like just tier, there is no tier. Like there is every
No
colleges are equal.
hierarchy or nothing.
Literally, eh? Yeah,
Like no hierarchy or
yeah. No hierarchy or like Basically, the tier one, tier two, three colleges and like all these tiers are like basically made up things. There is no such thing in the college names or like anything. And one college can change from tier two to tier three or tier one to tier three or three to one, whatever ways. It just depends on how the output of the college is. And yeah, how the output of a college depends is actually the interesting part, which is very hard to change. So it's basically the mindset of the people or the students studying in that college, honestly. So there are a lot of colleges in Kerala which, yeah, can be told as tier one, but ultimately that college and a tier three college, maybe like tier one college, I'm not giving any names or anything, but suppose there's a college X, which is a tier one college in Kerala, and suppose there's a college Y, which is a tier three college in Kerala. The only difference between these two colleges I see is the people and the staff. Okay, so in a world where like we have access to anything, any information around the globe, like we have ChatGPT, our Perplexity, all those and AI things, everything is available for anyone, irrespective of tier one or three colleges. And all the internet information is available to anyone. So I don't see it as a lack of skills as a tier one college or tier three college problem, but rather as a like mindset problem that is prevailing a lot. So yeah, what differentiates what makes a college tier one or tier three is basically the students and their thinking skills or like how they take upon scenarios. It's not always like the brightest student or the student who scores the highest marks gets the highest or the best job. If that was true, then yeah, these tiers should have existed or these tiers have a
Yeah.
logical meaning to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I have
I
heard
think
stories of
the
yeah.
mindset matters, right?
Yeah, it's just the mindset. So yeah, there's like a lot of stories of IITians even not getting a job, even like the IITians with like 98% score in IIT not getting a job.
Yeah. Yeah, let us look into some internships things. Like I think you have done many internships, yeah, even at your second year itself, right? So I always see you like managing a lot of things, even college stuff, internships, and yeah, I find you always busy, like, but still you're simple and managing all these stuffs. Actually, how are you able to do all these things?
Yeah, kind of very interesting question that I also don't have any proper answer on. But yeah, I like just talk about how little of these things are done and what all have I done till now or like yeah that might be like flexing me but a few things that I did interestingly I'd say so I have been a part of Tinker Hub from first year of college itself, so I joined as an intern in Tinker Hub around like half of my first year I think, or yeah, in the end towards the end of my first semester or something, or mid of my first year, let's say it like that. So I joined as an intern. I think I have leading in the learning initiatives too. So worked as an intern, like running study jams of Tinker Hub and like other events and like being part of other things. Yeah, I did a lot of other things also, not just the learning or like the activities, but yeah, I did a lot of other things also. So yeah, that was a stepping stone for like me getting into communities and all these things. So. mm, what all have I done in this aspect? Like, yeah, started from Tinker Hub, like then got into fellow and like then I got into an engineering job, engineering internship at Tech for Good Community. Then I went to IKM, then do Tech for Good Community again as a full-time engineer, remotely working. So this whole journey and like yeah, in the middle of this, like I think I was one thing uh, that had a lot of thing input into my life. So as I just mentioned, Tinder only, but yeah, a few other things that I was part of in college was those IEDC. I started as a technical team member, and then later got into CTO, CFO, and all those top tier positions and all those things. Then I also actually like led the first club in my college, kind of like restarted and yeah, ran the Ran a really interesting annual force conference called Force Fest in 2023. So yeah, that was an interesting take. Like it was an experiment actually. So everything is an experiment in life. So yeah, the base thing is that yeah, everything I do and all these things are basically an experiments that I want to try on something. And yeah, since I have a lot of ideas and like I also don't stick to the events only happening in college. I just go out. So occasionally in the weekends only you will find me in my hostel. Rest of the weekends I'll be either in mostly in Kochi or somewhere else. So yeah, showing up in other events and like part of being other communities outside college and like so that actually gave me a lot of exposure to other events happening outside. So and implementing those ideas in my college. Uh, yeah, that was kind of like how uh, things were working and like managing these things mentally is a hectic thing, but kind of it's very working for me. Uh, I'm a person who can actually handle multiple things. But yeah, sometimes just brain just gets fogged up. That's the only thing. Yeah, actually, I have a proper like a to-do list maintaining thing and like I document things a lot. So I'm a person who values documentation. So that's something I really love to do and something I really value other people doing. So documenting as such as like uh, just write down what you did, like what the steps you did to get here or like get there or do this. What did you do to get here? So documenting those, like just write it down. But since that those are not like publicly readable formats, I haven't published that was this yet. But yeah, planning to publish those soon. Like yeah, this soon. I was thinking of publishing this way back from like 2 years back also. So this soon might not be coming anytime soon, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Uh,
interesting.
it's kind
Yeah,
of
so
uh,
if somebody want to land an internship now, okay, what all skills they required and um, like, is there any other advice that you should give?
okay. So it's landing internships. First thing to note, not a skill, but it's a skill to have. Don't go for internships which you need to pay them. That's the first number one skill that you need to have. Number one skill you need to have. Okay. Anything other than that, just go join, even if it's not giving you money or if it's giving you value in some sort, yeah, then go join. And skill set, uh, most people, there are a lot of people who are into the engineering side of things or like technical side of things and who are into non-engineering side of things. So yeah, the skills for these things vary differently very much. So just go through like some job listing platforms and all these things to uh, just see how and what skills are companies asking for specific roles. Suppose you want to be a product manager and like just go and check around what a product manager JDs look like. How and what can you do to attain those skills? That's the next thing you have to do. And then yeah, being a part of communities and all these things and it makes you have a good set of connections with people, which yeah, make the job hunting pretty easy actually. So or job or internship hunting. Like both are kind of the same. So either you land at an internship and then you can get into a job from there itself. So that's not a big deal. Uh, but yeah, landing your first thing, which is paid, is the hardest part. So it's kind of like you finding yourself amidst the chaos. So that's the hardest part to do. And yeah, what skills to achieve is kind of very changing. So if I tell like, okay, go and learn, say Python, fast API, Flask, all these things. That's gonna change after a few time. So this if this podcast is ever going to be uploaded and like if you're watching this maybe 1 or 2 years down the lane, it should be relevant then also. So yeah, just take a look at the job boards that are relevant now and yeah, what the skills they mentioned should be the skills that you should be learning. And just a side note, most of the skill companies or like whatever companies, corporations, organizations, whatever things they are, most of them are moving to a more tools culture rather than learning a language, learning a tool or learning a set of tools is the far more important goal to achieve. That's what I understood from like uh, the recent trend in companies and all those things. So yeah, we know that at this stage, there's cursor, windsurf, all these things are there. So it's not pretty hard for anyone to build a like any website or any idea. If they have an idea, they can build it with cursor or something. So it's not the technical bit that's harder, but it's the use of how to use cursor is the biggest question. Yeah, people might know, yeah, I built me a web portfolio website. That's the very layman terms or like very common people's question, prompt to build up portfolio. But yeah, if you're a pro in that, you just give a good prompt that gives you the exact result in one go. So yeah, it's kind of like it more you learn a tool, you learn more about tools rather than focusing on one language. Should learn about the fundamentals at first. If you're going to for the coding or programming sort of things, just get the fundamentals first. Then like focus on tools, frameworks, and all these things. Uh, don't stick only on with languages on all those things. Go explore frameworks. Even if you don't know, like maybe you just want to learn Python and those things, so just learn Python on like 1 or 2 days, like what are the basics and fundamentals. And then, yeah, by every time you should reinforce the fundamentals of Python. Yeah, Python, taking me an example. And going ahead, you explore new frameworks like maybe Flask is a framework, Django, all these things. So just build a project. And yeah, coming to building a project, most people don't know how to build a project. So what I would suggest doing is like on the way that I did was taking a project that's already there, running it first. That's the biggest thing because most people don't document all these things. So running it first. Second thing I do is like I pull working things away from it. So and like see what breaks. So that's a very interesting way to learn things. Yeah, that's how you can land a internship job or anything like that. How to learn also.
Yeah, I think the two takeaways that you mentioned is like first one would be don't fall for these fake internships where you should pay them money, right? So choose something valid. And the second would be like keep exploring new tools because AI is booming at one side, and all you want to know is how to use all these tools. Yeah. So yeah, let us move on to something more fun and engaging. Yeah, so I would love to know about how your networking stuff started with, because all you talked about communities and all other stuff would actually mean this connections, the word actually how it matters to you and what how it helped you.
Yeah. So communities at core is basically it's a group of people or it's a collection of people basically. So meeting a collection or a bunch of people is just is basically creating connections that gives you some value. So yeah, people might like for the people who are not yet into college or like who doesn't know what a connection or like networking is basically, it's just getting to know each other. But in a professional level or yeah, in some other level, maybe it can maybe networking can lead to a very close personal bonds. Sometimes it gets just a professional bond. That's it. Yeah, it can help in numerous ways. You don't know how it might help you. There will be interesting things that happen to you in your life, and yeah, there might be not so interesting people that you meet. Everyone you meet is like a person, or everyone you talk to is a new connection that you make. So yeah, being a part of community is basically like finding new people, talking to new people, and like sharing your ideologies and like meeting or talking to new people who share the ideologies as yours. So that's kind of the core of like how communities exist. Or so how I networked is a very rather question to ask myself itself. So I basically just go to, I just said before, like I won't be seen in my hostel in weekends. So I would probably be in Kochi or somewhere else. So yeah, I just show up on in some of the other events that happens in Kochi, and like that's how I got to talk to a lot of people. They came and talked to me, a lot of people. And yeah, once you know certain people, and then it's very easy to grow that network rapidly. So yeah, that's kind of the thing that I did. Like, yeah, just connect with few people very on a very good manner, and then the whole thing just gets very far, and then you get connected to a lot of people without much hassle. That's my take, and that's how it was for me personally.
Yeah. So actually, I what I was trying to get was how these networking actually helped you in landing jobs and learning new skills and meeting new like-minded people. So actually, how this helped, or do you met some occasions like that?
Yeah. So answering that specific, very specific question, networking has helped a lot in like getting a lot of opportunities. Not only just a job or internships, yeah. The jobs and internships and everything I got till now are all just basically I just got because I was an active member of community, and like yeah, because of the networking connections I had. And on the other part also, like building the skills is another part that you have to focus on. Similarly, even when you have a lot of connections, even if you don't have any skills to showcase, then it's not a good thing that a company should hire you. So having a mix of both should be the priority to be considered while like, to make a use of the connections and people you may need online, offline, or whatever way. But yeah, this has helped me a lot to basically to attend events like which cost a lot in a very free manner. So one of the events I actually really look ahead, which remember very much, which I have really loved being a part of was DebConf, which many people won't know. It's actually a Debian conference. So people may think like Debian conference. It's not that much good. People don't know about Delhi conference or anything like that. So actually, like there are a lot of conferences happening all over the world. Like almost every company runs some or other kind of conference, at least one year, in 1 year. So Debian had a conference, and that was the first time it chose a location in India or South India, I guess. I mean, it was actually held. It was happening at Kochi. So yeah, I just applied to the event, and yeah, I just showed up for the event on the first day actually, and afterwards like just reaching the they just the one of the volunteers, one of the people who are at the registration desk, she actually asked me like if I'm interested to volunteer, and like after seeing what I did, I like all the things I just we just had a casual conversation there, and she asked me if I am interested in being a part of volunteering for them and all those things. So yeah, I said yes, why not? Volunteering for such a great event is obviously fun, and like you'll obviously get the peak you'll meet the peak level of people who are like typing in front of the computer, writing code and all those things. So yeah, I said yes, and yeah, that is a really great, interesting opportunity that I got. Like, yeah, great food, great stay, everything was there. And yeah, it's kind of like very event that is very much close to my heart. And like after that, I actually I had to leave the event in between because I really have an event in Bangalore the few days after. So I stayed there like for 5 6 days, and after that. I actually went to Bangalore for another event, which was called IASIS. So the IASIS summit was there. So basically, collection uh, of companies working for in the open source alliance coming together to showcase products. So not only products, but just showcasing how force can be a good part, how force can be used as a good goodness of society uh, in the general. Like talking about OSS is a big thing, but yeah, it's basically an open source alliance of few communities and companies which use force tools first. So yeah, those two things were very interconnected and like very much closely related or connected with me. And those two were the events that got me a lot of exposure and a lot of insights to what I did. Like those are the international kind of events that I have yeah, attended. So yeah, for the Oasis Summit also, I was volunteering there as a person who explained and who took an experience lab of discourse. So most people don't know how what discourse is, but yeah, almost everyone have used forum softwares. Like almost everyone has got seen Reddit. But yeah, it's not Reddit, but Reddit is a forum, and many people have might got to see a lot of companies forums. So basically, Discourse is a platform used for this. It's an open source tool, which actually is used by many companies in a very modified manner to host their forum sites. So Force uses it. Many companies actually uses it. Even Atlassian, uh, like many companies, if you just go to the Discourse website, I can just see a lot of companies using this thing as their forum software. So yeah, Figma actually uses things thing I guess. And a lot of communities or like a lot of companies actually use this to run their communities on those things. So yeah, that is the thing I did there. And like the overall, it's very hard to like compress all these years of all these 4 years of volunteering and all these things and how networking helped or enabled me to get a better opportunity or get better roles. But the general take is that it obviously helps you. That's the one line answer.
Yeah,
It helps you in
okay.
unexpected and expected ways.
Yeah. So actually, uh, all these things you have done until then, like the internships, the events, and all those things. Actually, what makes you different from other people is like the skills and the mindset that you broke out from this comfort zone, right? So actually, you talked about that there is not tiers, it's not like hierarchy, it's all about the mindset. Actually, all these things that you shared actually uh, clearly points out that how we should be to be outstanding or want to land a very good job or something. Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting. And also, like, I would love to know about your first project because you built a lot of projects. There are many personal projects as well as other projects also, right? So, what are some of the few projects that you really, really loved and built it?
So talking about the first project, like project, like first project should be, I don't know how to classify one project as a first project I did because like I some people consider like writing the first line of code as their first project, but some other consider their first full stack application as their first project. So it's very different. I don't know how to classify and which according which project I can classify as my first one. Uh, but yeah, I started off with HTML and CSS like everyone else. Way back in like where I think it was in my eighth standard. Yeah, eighth standard. I started off with HTML and CSS and JS very soon and like yeah. So one of the interesting projects, like yeah, I did a lot of good, bad, every projects. But something that I really loved and like I still use today, like even this moment, is something I built during my repeating duration, which was yeah, the auto hotkey scripts, which the auto hotkey language, which no one ideally doesn't, no one knows basically. Like so, over these years, talked to a lot of people and I think only two people knew about auto hotkey exist or like such a thing exists. There were two people, if I'm not wrong. It's not, anyways, above, it's not above five. It's just like less than five anyways. But yeah, if I'm not wrong, there's only two people who properly knew that a AutoHotkey existed. Yeah. And yeah, so I actually built like a lot of automations and scripts in this AutoHotkey language, and yeah, made a calculator back in that day, the pre-GPT era. That should be like mentioned like that. Pre-GPT era and like post-GPT era should be a real thing. Like people after COVID, people like started telling like this is post-COVID era, that is pre-COVID era, and now it should be like that's the pre-COVID and post-COVID is kind of the differentiation between in the life aspect, but if you see in the career aspect, you can take it as a pre-GPT era and post-GPT era. So in the pre-GPT era, I build these things and like even without knowing to-do lists or like to-do list applications exist, I built one because I don't know. I didn't search for to-do list application, or I didn't know that this is called a to-do list. So
Yeah.
I actually created a to-do list application in using AutoHotkey way back then. So those are some of the interesting projects I did, and yeah, I still use almost many like actually like I actually the actually use case of AutoHotkey is to for me now is personally automating a lot of keystrokes. So everyone might need a very useful simple thing I would say is that everyone needs to search for some specific term in Google or like whenever they are reading a document or something, they might see a word that is very difficult for them. Say if you are reading some technical documentation and you see Docker, and I don't know what Docker is. So ideally the people what will they do? They just yeah select it. Either if at least they know something basics of computer, they just Control C and open a new tab, Control T, and then paste it and search it. So it's basically selecting Control C, Control T, Control V, enter. So I just automated the whole thing just into Alt, Shift, and S. So if I highlight a word and just press Alt, Shift, and S with my keyboard, just automatically does all these things and like just gives that answer. Like Google
Mm.
just gives the Google search for you. So yeah, and also like yeah, I'm a person who loves to create shortcuts which are understandable, which people can understand. Not like the Premiere Pro shortcuts which are non-predictable and non-understandable to a point. So I even created shortcuts for Premiere Pro shortcuts.
Oh,
Like like I can press a single key which triggers a shortcut inside Premiere Pro.
oh, that's interesting. Oh, I was
Creating a
still
JSON
curious to
file
know about
to
that project that you mentioned that the five people only know that thing. Like actually, I didn't get that thing. Wow, what was that?
which one five
The
people
the
only
first
know.
project that you built with,
Right.
uh,
It's not first five people only know.
yeah,
It's just
five.
that AutoHotkey as in the whole set of people I have met in these 4 years, only in my knowledge, only two people knows about AutoHotkey. And anyways, like if I missed out someone, it's always less than five people.
Okay.
And my
So
memory is
so
pretty
is that
pretty
confidential or
weak,
something?
so might yeah.
Is that confidential or something?
It's not confidential. Like it's the AutoHotkey project. I like the AutoHotkey script I talked about. So
Okay, yeah.
most people don't know that AutoHotkey is a thing or like it's a language. No one has heard. Only two people I might have heard about AutoHotkey.
Oh,
That's what I mean, told.
yeah, yeah. So so yeah, so we have discussed a lot, right? So a lot of projects and stuffs, and we also mentioned about learning skills, internships and stuff. So like now it's 2025 and AI is moving at one stage, and as you told, like only we have to explore tools and things, right? So in that case,
Not only tools,
what
but should be tools first. Yeah,
yeah,
you
plus
should learn the
tools,
fundamentals, then learn frameworks and tools in the same way.
yeah.
No one learns about tools these days. I mean, not these days, but yeah, it's just few people started to learn tools, but generally it's basically more companies use tools that enable them to do the thing. So that's what I think more people should focus on that. And that's a skill that most people don't have.
Oh, okay.
So
So, there are many like let's programming languages. What was your first programming languages, and what language should someone learn in 2025? I know there is no specific answer for that, but if you have any recommendation or something, and what would you choose, or what would you suggest?
that's a very interesting question because you said the answer to that question yourself, and yeah, you wanted to you wanted me to talk about the answer that you gave, which is ideally the answer I also give. But yeah, something I would like to add on. Yeah, so coming to first question, which was my first programming language. So technically, first programming language was C, but
Yeah.
not first language. First language was HTML, then to CSS, and then C programming, and then AutoHotkey. So yeah, AutoHotkey is not a programming language. It's a scripting language. So HTML and CSS are all both. HTML is a scripting and CSS is a styling language. So programming language is C.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like what to learn in today's age is a very fundamental question of like, should I learn Python? Should I learn HTML? Should I learn Flutter? It's like it's not like you have to go select one thing and focus on the one thing only. Now it's more about you learning the fundamentals about how things work, how the technical stuffs work. It's not about learning any language. So you can learn any language actually if you have some basic mathematical or like logical reason, logical skills. If you have logical skills, any language is easy to learn. Uh, but the thing that is hard to master or hard to learn is the fun. One is the fundamentals, and second thing is how things work. So that's basically learned only with curiosity in your mind. So learning how things work is a very interesting skill in today's age to have, and it's a very interesting thing that makes or like that's needed for you to get out of your comfort zone. So if you don't know how certain softwares work, or like yeah, you tell yourself that you are an Flutter developer, but you don't know how routing or some certain things in Flutter work, then how can a person hire you as a Flutter developer? That's the biggest question. When that person can write, or like when that person can use Cursor or GPT to generate the code. So actually, I recently saw a reel. So everyone watches reels, and so interesting reel. Uh, One person was like saying, earlier I used to hire intern at $20 per hour. Now I hire, now I use Cursor, which costs $20 per month. Yeah, and that intern might take like 1 or 2 months of work to complete the same thing that Cursor can do in like maybe one day.
Yeah,
So
that was the
yeah, that's
progress.
the fundamental difference of like whether you should learn a language or not. It's about like learning how things work. And yeah, how things work, learning how things work is a very fundamental skill, and uh, that can't be replaced much by AI in my take. But yeah, let's see. I don't know how things work. But yeah, just recently, yesterday, the Anthropic CEO has just stated that by 2026, 50% of the entry level white collar jobs won't exist. So
I too have
yeah,
seen that story.
it's yeah. It's
That
time to
was
see like people like asking for like 5+ years experience running Claude, and
yeah.
like 5+ years experience of maybe like working with Llama, fine-tuning Llama with 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience. It's time to see those resume. It's time to see those JDs, I guess.
Oh, actually, yeah, we need to improve a lot. And also,
Yeah,
when we
so
look
it's
on
very
companies
yeah.
don't need like people like interns and stuff now, they too need like experienced ones. So how do this experience occur?
That's a very
So
interesting question. So,
yeah, and
yeah,
actually that was not a question. I was just talking. Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's actually a thing or interesting question to ask about and ask to yourself also. Like the question that you should ask, everyone should ask themselves is that, okay, AI is replacing jobs in this scale. Anthropic CEO just told yesterday that it's AI is going to replace half of the jobs not by 2030, just by next year. That means there's only 6 months left for the next year. Currently, we are in June, only 6 months left for the next year, and within 6 months, 50% of the entry level jobs are going to be vanished. So that's a very harsh thing to hear to yourself. And like the question that you should ask yourself is that whether the skill I am learning now or what I want to learn in the future could be replaced by AI or not. And yeah, if AI can replace this thing, how can I position myself so that AI can't replace me? Ultimately, no one wants to get replaced by AI, like don't get any job. And yeah, getting the jobs, as just Abhi told, they ask for experience. And how can you get experience? It's a very hard question. And like, yeah, one way, it's not about the experience always. That's the first thing. Yeah, companies might have told they might need like a 2 year plus experience guy or like 5 year plus experience person. But if you have done interesting enough projects or interesting enough things, then that's enough to compare that to the 5 year experience of a person working in the tech industry. So, uh, one thing I actually tried and like which helped me a lot is actually trying to run Frappe within GitHub code spaces. So uh, it's not very long project or anything. It's just like few 30, 40 lines of shell script. That does the job. And that had that had made a big impact in multiple areas of my life. So that's the future of like how you should be thinking and like yeah, don't like be a Python developer or don't be a HTML developer. Be a person who knows how to learn things and at the same time knowing the fundamentals how things work in the tech industry or not even if you're not going to tech industry just going to the other side of things maybe designing or like other things yeah Figma AI is coming or like Figma has some AI
yeah,
stuffs to ruin the designers also they're also in the run so not only coders are affected only also designers also next to get removed from their
I
plate of thing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think Canva too launched their AI right recently.
Yeah, think so. Like a lot of tools are coming up. So it's pretty hard to like position yourself in a AI first economy. Everyone just wants to make more money, but no one wants to give any job. So where you should position yourself is the first question. And I think employers should also ask themselves is that like should you always focus on your profits only? Should you be more humane than you are right now? That's some question for the employers who are actually replacing people with AIs.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's not only about making lots of money, it's also about being humane. So that's not for the employers if anyone is watching this.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so let's talk about something like when we manage a lot of things, as you told, like we manage college things and we manage these internships, yeah, exploring new things, going to Tech Fest and other uh, conference and stuff, right? So like the the prior question is like, how do you manage this thing? I think you already answered this thing. And what makes me curious is like, is there any occasions that you feel burnouts, confused, or have you ever thought like, is that my path, or do I need to do this thing, or am I able to do this thing?
The first question I already have answered in the first part. But yeah, how did I manage and like, did I get burned out? Did I like what I did? Like all those questions. Yeah, got burnt out kind of, but manageable, recoverable. And what was this last question? What was the last
Like,
question by any chance? Like I just forgot.
yeah, I think I have just asked about a lot of questions, right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I was asking about like, are you like, do you ever felt like confused, and do you felt like, oh, is that my path, or
Oh,
can I
okay,
able
okay.
to
Yeah,
do this
got
or
it, got
something?
it. Yeah. So is this my path? That's the biggest question everyone asks, and everyone gets confused at, and it's pretty okay to get confused at that question. No one gets the correct thing in that first shot itself. So try, experiment, learn, build, find your niche, build something that only you can be, only you can provide that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Well, let's talk about some of the like most commonly used AI tools by you, and you feel like that everyone should use, like something like recommendation or something.
Okay, that's AI tools. I can just come with this video. Tool. If you just ask me what all tools I use and those things, that will be separate, different podcast that we need to make. But yeah, the AI tools that I generally use are mostly ChatGPT. I use Perplexity, which I got a pro account, and don't use Claude as in the in chat interface of Claude itself, but I use Claude in Cursor. And yeah, the most used tool by me, or like the API key which I use the most or extensively, is Gemini's, which of course is free. That's the reason why I use it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone is out there watching, yeah, Gemini API key is free. Go explore.
Yeah. That's good. Well, if it is not AI tools, what it might be like mostly for managing things and stuff.
So very interesting, and like very, as a person who went from a few experimented with every tools available. Uh, I started off writing notes in Notion, went to multiple note taking apps, multiple project management apps, everything I tried. And at the end, or today, I just learned two things. Just two things. One is a trusty notepad with a lot of pages, which I can clear away. And a pen, a mechanical pencil, which I really love to like. People might like pens or like anything, but I really like mechanical pencils. So yeah, pencil and paper is one tool. I mean, this is combo. You can't use paper or pencil alone. So this is one tool. Another tool I really use lot is Google Sheets for writing down things, thoughts, managing projects. Life, my entire life actually runs on a single Google Sheet. It has like around 28 tables with different aspects of my life. So that's how Google Sheets helps me. Tools that I really found very useful. So yeah, I use a lot of other tools also, but yeah, so the primary core things. But sticking to the bare minimum tools which are by default there for you.
Guest. So
Okay,
thank you.
thanks. Yeah. So That's great to be